think Africans just woke up one day and decided to sell their own people into slavery? I've got some bad news. You've been lied to. See, the idea that all Africans were one big happy family is, well, about as accurate as calling every European cousins. Africa is massive, thousands of cultures, languages and tribes. A kingdom in West Africa didn't see another tribe 500 miles away as their own. They weren't selling their own, they were selling outsiders, prisoners of war. Now let's flip it. If Norway attacked Italy, would you say Europeans are fighting their own people? No. But when it's Africa, suddenly it's they sold their own. Why? Because history loves to simplify Africa into one label, black. But Africa was never just one thing. It was, and still is, a continent of vast diversity. So let's stop falling for the colonial remix of history, shall we?
Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Harakakodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of great men do not do real well. That taught us this 100% truth. And salutation to the brothers around the Aratazar, preaching this word in truth and sincerity, hailing the coming of Yahushai, right, and the end and downfall of Esau, Edom and his queendom. Right, again, back to the basics video, right. Again, Africans did not sell Africans into slavery. As the guy brought it up here, he brought up some simple points, right? Which is basically, it is not arguable because he's speaking the truth, right? I'm going to play over the video again and touch on some points.
Africa is massive. If you think Africans just woke up one day and decided to sell their own people into slavery, I've got some bad news. You've been lied to. See, the idea that all Africans were one big happy family is, well, about as accurate as calling every European cousins. Africa is massive.
Right, and how we see that there, right? Everybody in Africa is not one big family because we know the scriptures said that Israel is separate from these other heathens, right? Israelites are separate from them. They are not Africans, as the scriptures say. I'll bring it out just now.
Thousands of cultures, languages and tribes. A kingdom in West Africa didn't see another tribe 500 miles away as their own. They weren't selling their own, they were selling outsiders, prisoners of war.
Right, and here we said it basically. He said that they watch us as outsiders, enemies, because what going on when Israel came into the land of Canaan, we had to fight against the Canaanites and take the land because the Lord said, hey, this is the land I promised unto your forefathers, right? This is the land that he promised us. So he gave us this land, and that is when these heathens become our enemies, right?
Now let's flip it. If Norway attacked Italy, would you say European? They weren't selling their own, they were selling outsiders, prisoners of war. Now let's flip it. If Norway attacked Italy, would you say Europeans are fighting their own people? No. But when it's Africa, suddenly it's they sold their own. Why? Because history loves to simplify Africa into one level.
And that is how serious it is too, because they want to call all black people Africans. But we are not Africans. As the scriptures go by, as the scriptures tell it, we are Hebrew Israelites. And not no black Hebrew Israelites, just Hebrew Israelites. Biblically, we are the Hebrew Israelites, right?
No. But when it's Africa, suddenly it's they sold their own. Why? Because history loves to simplify Africa into one label, black. But Africa was never just one thing. It was, and still is, a continent of vast diversity. So let's stop falling for the colonial remix of history, shall we?
Right, I have this chart here. Let me go into it one time, right? As a matter of fact, I will bring out the scripture first. Right, book of Psalms chapter 83 and verse 1, and it says the songs of it says this a song of Psalms of Asaph, keep not thou silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Right? And this is what these heathens was doing when it came to the nation of Israel, when it came to us. Right? They was right, they was preparing to put us into slavery and for us to forget where we come from, to forget that, hey, as a Hebrew Israelite now, chicks all over the world, they're thinking these are African, the African American slack. Right, they say in the African American, there's a Trinidadian, there's a Tobagonian, there's a Trinbagonian, you understand? In all sorts of the world. Because remember the scripture say you can scatter us around all the nations. Right, and that is what's going on right now. Right, to have Israelites all over the world. The scripture say we can be like the sands of the sea also. Right, and when I check it out, it do have one beach in the world in one spot. It have beaches all over the world. And it's like it's uncountable, right? That is the sand actually uncountable. So it have beaches here in Trinidad, beaches in Jamaica, beaches all over the world. That is how the children of Israel is scattered all over the heathens, right? So don't lump us in one category as black, because we are not black. We are different shades of brown, right? Continuing, it says they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Right? So that is exactly what they did. They came and they put us into slavery, right? They conquered us, and that's exactly what they did. Jakes don't know who they come from, where they come from now. They believe in the land that they born in is exactly where all their ancestors was. But no, it is not so. Right? Continuing, it says, for they have consulted against, it's like for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagrims. Right? We know the Edomites are these so-called white people today. It says of Moab and the Hagrims. Right? The Hagrims they are basically the children of Ham. And Moab is who? These ones who we want to call the Chinese eyes, Asians, right? Basically, these Chinese and them. It says Gibal and Ammon and Amalek and the Philistines, right? And who is the Philistines? That is why I have the chart here, just to prove that, hey, Israel, we are not Africans, we are not the children of Ham, right? And what is seen here, I'm going to put it down one time. What is seen right over here, right? The genealogy of Ham. From Ham, Mizraim, right? And from Mizraim, it goes to the Ludites, the Anamites, the Lehabites, and the Capratites. The Caphotites, however it is pronounced, right? And you can see the Philistines is right there. These are the children of Ham, the family tree or the genealogy of Ham, right? So we are not Africans. You don't put a difference between us. Look over here now when you go into the lineage of Shem, right? as you see us, look us to the bottom right here. The Israelites. From Shem, it goes down to Abraham. From Abraham to Isaac to Jacob to the Israelites. That is who we are. We are not the children of Ham. So we are not Africans. Africans did not sell Africans into slavery. Right? Jump to this precept here one time. Book of Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7. And it says, but against any of my children, but against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue. Right? And who the Lord consider as dogs, consider as basically nothing. These other nations, these other hidden nations. Right? It says, against man or beast, that ye may know how the Lord doeth put a difference between the Egyptians, who is the Hamites, right, and Israel. Right? The Lord put a big difference between us. Although we may seem to look the same shades, different shades of brown, the same skin color, we are not the same seed. It's a whole different tribe. We want to get the Deuteronomy 7 also. Right? Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. And it says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. I'll bring it out here in the Luther Bible, in the NLT. Read it also. Right, Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6, and it says, for you are a holy people who belong to the Lord your God of all people on the earth. Right, out of everybody on the face of the earth, the Lord chose Israel to be his people. And ain't no changing of mind when you're gonna choose some other nation. No. He will never forsake, he will never forget his people, as the scriptures say. He said, if he do this, let his tongue cleave to the roof of his mouth. And we don't have no dumb God. Right? Continuing, the Lord your God has chosen you to be his own special treasure. Right? That's why you're holy people. Let's go down to the word holy. Right? And it says here,
Strong's H 6918. Kadosh. Kadosh.
Kadosh.
Second entry. Kadosh. Kadosh.
It says secret, holy, holy one, saint, set apart. Right? The Lord set us apart from all these other nations. We'd seen was Deuteronomy 32. Forgive me if I'm mistaken. Let's see. Right, Deuteronomy 32 verse 7. And it says, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided the nations, their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Right, the Lord separate us according to the genealogy of our fathers, right? God set us apart. We are separate from these heathens. We are not the same as these heathens. Right? I'll bring on Deuteronomy 14 also, what says the same thing. Right? Deuteronomy 14 and verse 2. And it says, for thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord had chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above the nations that are upon the earth. But when we check it out right now, what's going on? We are not above the nations upon the earth. Right? We are under, because one of the curses. Right? We have to fulfill these curses. Right? We have to go through it, and then when that time will come, the Lord is going to take us out of this place. But every single thing that is in the scriptures, prophecy, must come to pass, and then, as the scriptures say, then shall the end come. The last precept, and I'll close off with this. Right, this is the book of 2 Peter 2 and verse 9. I'm not talking about it's 1 Peter 2 and verse 9. And it says, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and a holy nation. It is separate from all these other nations, a peculiar people, that ye should shew forth the praise of him who had called you out of the darkness into the marvelous lights. So again, Africans did not sell Africans into slavery. This was these Africans sell the Israelites, these Hamites, right, who sell the Israelites into slavery. These other nations, is as the scripture says in Psalm 83, the tabernacles of Edom, and these other nations who put us into slavery. Giving all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaGakodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the elect around the earth as preaching his word in 2030. Shalom, shalom, shalom.